What do you think is the determining factor from the ones that do succeed versus the ones that don't?
You know what? It's so interesting you ask that, Fong, because I remember I took that program, got the binders and stuff. And then I'd also at that time, I had joined the Real Estate Investment Network, RAIN, right?
Mhm.
Run by Don Campbell at that time. And that was based primarily in Alberta, but they had a little branch office in BC and whatnot. And the guy that I bought the course from, his name is Ron LeGrand. He was the kind of the quick turn kind of guy.
Mhm.
And Rain, coincidentally, so I got that course like in April or something like that. Rain brought him to Edmonton in July of that same year. And so a big thing. And it was like quite expensive. My memory was it was like 5K to go to this 3 day thing with Ron. And then he gave me all the courses I already bought. That's bonuses. But I remember I went to this 3 day seminar and actually took my mother with me just for fun. I thought she might enjoy that. She was retired and all that kind of stuff at the time. Um, but there were like 300 people at that seminar. And one of the things they did during the 3 days was they separated everybody by geographic region. So all the people from BC, we got together and there was about 75 or 80 of us from BC there. And I remember we're all networking and somebody said, "Hey, you know what? We should start a support group for everybody that's going through this program and get together once a week and help each other out and all this kind of stuff." And I said, "Great," because I was flying solo in Kamloops. Like I didn't know any other real estate investors. I was just doing my own thing, kind of thing. So we got that organized, and Kamloops to Vancouver is well, it was actually, these are being held in Richmond. So Kamloops to Richmond is about a 4 hour drive in good traffic each way, right?
Mhm.
So they decided we were going to have these meetings on Saturday mornings at 10 or 11 a.m. So, okay, no problem. I'm keen. So I jump in my I Buy Houses minivan, all deckled up with I Buy Houses stuff, zip into Vancouver, get there for 10 o'clock. So that means I left at like 5:30. And I go to this first meeting and it was pretty impressive. There were like 35 or 40 people in the room and everybody's all juiced up and we've got our binders and all this stuff. And I'm actively already been doing deals for a while, right? And they go, "Okay, here's our goal. Let's baby step this thing." So for next week, everybody, Ron says we really should have some business cards. I Buy Houses business cards. So our job for next week is have your business cards ready. I'm going, have your business cards ready? Gee, I'm doing deals. I got all this stuff going, but whatever. I'll be
You
patient.
drove and you drove 5 hours. It's like, I drove 5 hours to be told I need a business card for next week. You mean I have to come back next week for another 5 hours?
Yeah, so I'm a glutton for punishment. So I go back and do my thing. And next Saturday, jump in the minivan, head off to Vancouver, get there. It's gone from 40 some people, drastically reduced to like 20 people. Nobody had done their damn business cards, like nobody. So I'm starting to get a little steamed. It's all rah, rah, rah and love fest. Get back in the car. Next week, I get there. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. It had started at 40 some people. Second week, 20 people. Third week I got there was seven of us.
Oh man.
Seven of us. Nobody had their business cards. One lady had not read much of the training materials, but she had read something about classified ads. And that's when newspapers were still fairly big, right? So she had taken out classified ads in the Vancouver Sun and the Vancouver Province, the two biggest newspapers. She'd spent $2,000 on classified ads that says, "I buy houses, any condition, any place, any price," and her phone number. And these newspapers got distributed all across the province. So she had gotten overwhelmed with people from everywhere calling her. She hadn't read the rest of the course. She didn't know how to deal with. She did. So she's just and she blew 2 grand on this. And I just lost it. I said, "You guys are all idiots. I am never coming back here. All the best." And I got the minivan and went home and that. So that's a very long story to illustrate exactly what you said. that lots of people take these programs, very few people actually take action. What was the difference for me? Um, Experience being my own boss. I mean, that's what I've been doing for 10 plus years. I understood the fact that if you want anything to happen as an entrepreneur, you have to make it happen. Nobody else is going to do it for you, especially at the beginning when you don't have any employees. So it's all about taking massive imperfect action at the beginning. Your ducks are never going to be all perfectly lined up. You just got to get going and kind of fumble and bubble your way through because it's never going to be perfect, right? So that's probably the big benefit I had. The other thing was, quite frankly, I didn't have it. It was kind of like my boats were burned kind of thing. So I wasn't going to go back to Costa Rica. Um, I had to figure something out. I had my wife and two little kids with me. I was the sole income earner for the family. Uh, in Costa Rica, we had a pretty good standard of living. We had a nice upper middle class standard of living with live-in maid and gardener and gated community and all that kind of stuff. So my Costa Rican wife was accustomed to a kind of a better lifestyle than that we now had in Canada, living in a rental townhouse in the not so great side of town and all that stuff. So there's a lot of pressure on me to get my you know what together and generate some income.
Mhm. Would you say that people who are comfortable is less likely to succeed in starting real estate?
Yeah, yeah, I would.